Good morning, dear students. I had told you in my previous class that we shall discuss in the next class Act 4, Scene 1 and Part 3. We had stopped it that Bassanio was ready to pay 6,000 ducats to Shylock to pardon Antonio. But Shylock had not agreed. So let us see what was the reply of Shylock. Shylock says, if every ducat in 6,000 ducats were in 6 parts and every part a ducat, I would not draw them, I would have my bond. So Shylock is in no mood to take not only 6,000 ducats, but he says, even if you offer me 6,000 ducats in 3 parts or in 6 parts, meaning even if Bassanio had offered him 36,000 ducats. 6 parts mean 3 into 6. So 36,000 ducats, even if Bassanio could have offered Shylock to spare the life of Antonio, he says, I would not draw them. I would have my bond. He says, I would not accept that 36,000 rupees or 36,000 ducats. Rather, I would like to have the bond to be fulfilled. Duke interferes. He says, how shall thou hope for mercy, rendering none? The Duke of the city is surprised with the behavior of Shylock. He reminds him. He says to Shylock, if you do not show mercy to anyone on this earth, how could you think of the mercy of God that would be shown to you? In simple language, Duke is telling Shylock, if you would not show mercy to the human beings on this earth, God will also not show His mercy to Shylock in heaven. But Shylock is so adamant, he says, what judgment shall I dread, doing no wrong? You have among you many a purchased slave, which like your asses and your dogs and mules, you use in object and in slavish parts, because you brought them. Shall I say to you, let them be free, marry them to your heirs, why sweat them under burdens? Shylock is not worried about the judgment of God. He says, I shall not be dreaded, mean frightened. He doesn't get frightened of God because he considers that he is doing nothing wrong in the sight of God. And he gives the example of the Christians. He says, you have among you many as purchased slaves. He reminds the Duke of the city and also the audience, those who were there present in the court, that he tells them that you yourself have purchased means bought so many slaves. Slaves mean bonded laborers, mean which are not free to take their own decisions. They are totally commanded by the owner because they are bought. Money is paid for them. So therefore he says that you are treating them just like ashes, like dogs, like mules. For you they are just an object. Why? Because you have bought them. Shall I say to you, let them be free? He says, can I tell you that let your slaves be free? Let them marry your own daughters and sons. Yes mean your daughters, sons. Suppose those who are ladies, they can marry to your sons. Those who are men, they can marry to your daughters. Can they do so? Why sweat they under burdens? He says, if suppose they are also human beings, then why you people make them to sweat, or why do you people make them to work so hard? So Shylock is giving the logic. He says, suppose if you are not able to give comfort, all the comforts to your slaves, why do you ask me that I should give comforts to Antonio? He says, let their beds be made as soft as yours, and let their palates be seasoned with such vignettes. He says, if that is the case, as you have very soft and good beds, so also give the same kinds of beds to your servants or your slaves. The way you eat so sumptuous food or good meals, so you also provide the same kind of food to your slaves. He says, you cannot do so. You will answer, the slaves are ours. So do I answer you? He says, you cannot ask, and I cannot ask you that why you are treating your slaves like that, because you will answer me that those slaves are ours. We have bought them. So therefore, nobody other can decide what we have to give them for eating, what we have to make them to do, and what we have not to make them to do. He says, in the same way, the pound of flesh which I demand of him is dearly bought. 'Tis mine, and I will have it. Therefore he says, the pound of flesh which I am demanding is already bought by me. Because Shylock had given 3,000 ducats to Bassanio, and Antonio was guaranteed. Antonio had agreed upon. Suppose if he would fail the given date or time, Shylock had full authority to take away a pound of flesh from his body. So therefore he says, it is dearly bought and it is mine. Therefore nobody could question him, because as they had slaves, others had no right to question. So also he had bought Antonio's flesh, so nobody should question him. He says, if you deny me, fie upon your law. He tells to the Duke of the city, in case you deny me the justice, fie upon your law. Fie means shame. He says, shame on your law if you happen to not to give justice to a foreigner. There is no force in the decrees of law. He says, there is no power. Force means power here. There is no power in the decrees of Venice. I stand for judgment. Answer shall I have it. So therefore he is very firm. He knows that decrees of Venice allow the justice to the foreigners, and therefore he is asking the Duke of the city that he is demanding that justice. Can he get that justice or not? And then what is the reply of Duke? Duke says, upon my power I may dismiss this court unless Bellario, a learned doctor whom I have sent for to determine this, come here today. I had told you, dear students, that Duke of the city was only a moderator. He was not a judge. He had called an expert. His name is Bellario. He lived in Padua, and therefore Duke of the city says, I have the power to cancel, to adjourn, to dismiss this court, unless Bellario, a learned doctor whom he had called to determine to decide this case, comes on particular day. Otherwise, court will be suspended or judgment will not take place. In that situation, Salerio says, my lord here stays without a messenger with letters from the doctor new come from Padua. Salerio immediately tells the Duke of the city, saying, my grace, my lord, already the messenger has come from doctor, that means Dr. Bellario from Padua just now, and he has brought the letter. Duke says, bring us the letters, call the messenger. Immediately the Duke of the city commands the people, let the messenger come in and let him give us the letter. Then Bassanio says, good cheer, Antonio. What man courage yet? The Jews shall have my flesh, blood, bones, and all, or thou shalt lose for me one drop of blood. Bassanio had seen Antonio in a very miserable condition. He had seen that fear on the face of Antonio. Therefore, he wants to encourage Antonio. He says, come on, have good cheer, keep up, smile. Don't lose your faith, have courage. He says that he would not allow Shylock to harm Antonio. He says, if Shylock wants, he shall have my flesh, means Bassanio's flesh, Bassanio's blood, Bassanio's bones, and all, means everything Bassanio is ready to lose for Antonio, or is ready to give Shylock everything, his body, his soul, his flesh, his bones, but he would not allow even a drop of blood should come out from Antonio's body. A good friend. Bassanio is a very good friend, very close friend of Antonio. So he is encouraging him in this very pitiable situation. And Antonio says, I am a tainted wader of the flock, meetest for death. The weakest kind of fruit drops earliest to the ground, and so let me, you cannot better employ Bassanio than to live still and write my epitaph. Antonio considers himself a tainted wader of the flock. Tainted wader means sick sheep of the flock, of the group. He says, I am the most weak, most sick, diseased sheep of the flock, suitable, be test for death, means suitable for death. He considers himself a fruit that is very weak, and it drops on the earth before the exact time comes, because it is not very strong. And so therefore he says, so let me, you cannot better employ Bassanio than to live still and write my epitaph. Therefore he says to Bassanio, so let me die. And he tells Bassanio, you continue to live, because he requests Bassanio that Bassanio should write epitaph, means inscription written on the tomb of the dead person. So there is, in Christianity, there is a way of doing the things. When the person dies, Christians bury the person in the tomb, and on the tomb they place a epitaph, that is a piece of stone, and on that stone they write about the person, name of the person, when he was born, when he did his studies, what he did, and which is the date he died. So all these things are inscripted on the epitaph, on that piece of stone. So he is telling to Bassanio, please Bassanio, you live and you have to write that inscription on my tomb. In that time only enters Nerissa dressed like a lawyer's clerk. Then Duke says, came from Padua, from Bellario. So Duke is questioning Nerissa. He asks her, did you come from Padua, from Bellario? Then Nerissa says, from both, my lord. Bellario greets your grace. So Nerissa says, I have come from Padua, and I am sent by Dr. Bellario, and he has sent you the greetings. Bassanio says, why dost thou whet thy knife so earnestly? Bassanio sees that Shylock was making his knife very sharp, earnestly means so eagerly. So Bassanio had seen that Shylock was getting ready a knife to cut the pound of flesh from the body of Antonio. And therefore Shylock replies, to cut the four features from that bankrupt there. So, and Shylock is very straightforward person. He does not hide at all anything. He says, I am getting ready the knife to cut the pound of flesh from Antonio, because Antonio had become bankrupt. He had no money to pay. When Graciano listens, he says, not on thy soul, but on thy soul. Harsh you, thou makest thy knife keen, but no metal can. No, nor the hangman's axe bear half the keenness of thy sharp envy. Can no praise pierce thee? Graciano is very upset with the behavior of Shylock. He says, you are not only sharpening your knife on thy sole of the shoes, but on thy own soul. Mean all the bad thoughts not only come in our mind, also we have them in our heart. And therefore Shylock's soul had become so harsh. And Graciano says that you are making your knife so sharp that no metal can be compared. He says not even the hangman's axe. These days, if a criminal commits a crime and if he is given a death penalty, so he is hanged. But in those days, if a person committed crime and that fellow was given the death sentence, the hangman used to make his axe sharp and behead him or slaughter him. With the axe, he used to cut that person. That axe should be very sharp. So he says that your way of sharpening the knife shows that you have so much envy. Bear half the keenness of the sharp envy, that you are so much jealous against Antonio. Because of that, you have gone to that extent. He says, can no prayer pierce thee? I mean, not even one prayer can pierce your heart. No difference they are making to you, because so many people are asking you to have pity on Antonio, and you have become so adamant. Shylock says, no, none that thou hast wit enough to make. Shylock is very adamant. He is very stubborn. He says, you have not sufficient intelligent. Wit means intelligence. Enough means sufficient. You don't have sufficient intelligence to make me understand what I have to do and what I have to not to do, because that is my right. Then Graciano says, not on thy soul. But Graciano says, O be thou damned, inexorable dog, and for thy life let justice be accused. Thou almost makest me waver in my faith to hold opinion with Pythagoras that souls of animals infuse themselves into the trunks of men. Thy currish spirit governed a wolf who hanged for human slaughter. For the first time, Graciano has become very angry. Therefore, he uses very vulnerable language for Shylock. He says, "O be thou damned, inexorable dog." I mean, he is calling him worse than a person, worse than a dog. And for thy life, let justice be accused. He says, suppose in case Antonio loses the case and you happen to win, then whole system of justice of Venice should be accused, because such a horrible person is left on this earth to live. He says, thou almost makest me waver in my faith to hold opinion with Pythagoras. By seeing Shylock's behavior, Graciano has almost wavered in his faith. According to Pythagoras is a Greek philosopher. According to him, if a person does good on this earth in a birth that was given to him, he is given one more birth. If a person has done good things, then that person's soul is infused in the human person for the next birth. But if a person has not done good things, that person's soul is infused in the animals. यदि किसी व्यक्ति ने अच्छे काम किए हैं तो उसको दोबारा जब जन्म मिलता है तो फिर से मनुष्य का मिलता है, लेकिन यदि किसी ने गलत कार्य किए हैं तो पाइथागोरस ऐसा सोचता था कि ऐसे मनुष्य की आत्मा को जानवरों के आत्मा में डाल दिया जाता है। और इसलिए ग्रासियानो बोलता है कि मुझे तो पाइथागोरस की फिलॉसफी और थियोलॉजी पर ही विश्वास नहीं हो रहा है। ये अगर सचमुच में शाइलॉक ने अच्छे काम किए थे तो इसके अंदर ये ऐसी आत्मा कहां से आ गई? Then he says, it is quite possible that your soul is governed by a wolf who hanged for human slaughter. During those days, there was a wolf who used to kill the other animals or also other human beings. Therefore, people of that time had become fed up with this wolf, and they had caught hold this wolf and they had hanged that wolf. So Graciano thinks that it is possible that wolf's soul might have infused in Shylock's body. And therefore, see what he says. He says, even from the gallows did his fell soul fleet, and whilst thou layest in thy unhallowed dam, infused itself in thee, for thy desires are wolfish, bloody, starved, and ravenous. He says it is quite possible, हो सकता है कि जब वो सब लोग मिलके उस वुल्फ को हैंग कर रहे थे तो उसकी आत्मा अचानक वहां से निकली, है ना, सीधी फेल सोल फ्लीट सडनली वहां से निकली और सीधी जाकर अनहॉलोड डैम, अनहॉलोड मीन नॉट होली, है ना, अनहॉलोड मीन नॉट होली डैम, डैम मीन वूम ना, हो सकता है कि वो सीधी आत्मा उसकी माँ के गर्भ में जहां पर इसका जन्म हो रहा था, इन्फ्यूज्ड, इंसर्टेड इन दैट. He says quite possible that the soul of that wolf might have gone directly in the unholy or very dirty dam. We should not use that word for a mother, but because of behavior of Shylock, he says it's quite possible that unholy womb in that where he was placed, that suddenly that soul might have gone in that body, and therefore Shylock is born because his all the desires are wolfish. His all the ways of dealing with the people are like a wolf. Wolf also is bloody, mean he is also always running for the blood of others. He is also hungry. He is always attacking others. So also Shylock is doing the same thing. So therefore, Graciano says, sometimes I doubt the philosophy of Pythagoras, because Pythagoras told that only good person will be born in good souls, or good souls are placed in the good persons. But he says quite possible that in Shylock's case, that wolf's body or wolf's soul is placed in his mother's womb, and therefore Shylock is born. Dear students, I am very sure that I have tried my best to make you understand part third of this scene. It's a quite big act, therefore we have to make so many parts of it, because I don't want to overburden you. Suppose if I teach you at a stretch whole scene, I don't think I will be doing justice with you all. Therefore I will be breaking it in part by part, teaching you little by little, so that you should understand whole drama, what had gone in this whole scene. Accordingly, you must also read by yourself, understand, and if still you have doubt, ask me, and think that will make us more better students. Thank you. God bless you. Have a nice and wonderful day.